Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. Matt's feed just dropped out. We promised we wouldn't mention this on the show, but it's already bothering me. My name is Sean Bell. I'm joined by Matthew Murray.
Hello.
And James Farley.
Hello. I mean, Matt, you look like you just did a magic trick because you were like, you were
What
like
happened there? What happened there?
You were drinking from a can, and then suddenly the can was gone. It's incredible.
Oh, did my feed actually properly drop out?
For a second, yeah.
Oh,
And
great.
it doesn't matter because the podcast listeners don't
Yeah, need
care.
to do that. Yeah.
Dave's not here this week, but don't turn off straight away because I promise it will be all right. Some people actually prefer things this way. But yeah, Dave's moving house.
Most, I think.
Dave's moving house. I gather it's been difficult. Because it only occurred to me today that, of course, it's half term, and they've got the kids who weirdly aren't that into the machinations of moving house.
But I think that's easier because otherwise you have to go to drop offs and pickups and this or that. Like, at least
but then you get a chunk of the day where you don't have to think about them.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, best of luck to Dave. Sending our love. I know, obviously, it's going to be good for him because he's moving to a bigger place. I can't wait to see what room he broadcasts from.
Yeah,
it's exciting. I can't wait.
He's going to go full. Yeah, he's going to brand new background, neon lights, a lot. Yeah. You can have my one.
That's true. Yeah, why haven't you put yours up?
Not
don't feel like putting down roots yet.
No, I do like that. I could do. I just haven't. I don't know. I just haven't bothered.
Fair enough. Right, we're going to start the show the way we always start the show, by thanking our Patreon producers for this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights to Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Thomas S, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Man, Tri-State, Jack Oven, Jonathan Edwards, No Longer a Freeloader, Grey Dragon Claw. We then have a returning full Nels, Remalaptar, or James?
Ramalapatar.
Very good. And a new full Nels, Angry Baboom with a M.
Oh, hang on. I better check. It probably is Angry. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, it probably is a mistake. I do apologise. Let me just double. It's Angry Baboon. Angry Baboon is probably a better name.
Your refund is not happening.
Angry Baboon is probably a better name, actually.
Yeah, I quite like that. Maybe we should change your name. Yeah. Angry Baboon. Yes, they all went to patreon.com/TCGS, and they thought, you know what, I'm gonna give back, actually. And they signed up at the highest possible tier. But you don't have to do that. There are other tiers. There are lower tiers where you get the bonus show or the video thing we did. We played All You Need Is Help last week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And James really struggled at first with the...
Yeah, it was because the controls were... Okay, the controls were completely fine. They were intuitive and everything. Yep. But obviously they made it a little bit difficult, so it wasn't like you couldn't just immediately ace everything, straight away.
I know, but you really... I mean, anyone who's at that tier, just go and watch the video and see what you think. It's quite a frustrating watch at first.
Because Matt kept getting in the way all the time.
No, they don't to blame me.
You can pin it on Matt. And it basically
I had to get into
funny little shapes, and you move around and you've got to make specific shapes, but you can only do it by kind of bumping into each other, and that's how you rotate. And it just, it was really funny.
I was trying to get into a little crevice, and I couldn't.
James, don't say
what?
that. Just don't say that. Also, the bonus show. We mentioned last week that we were going to be recording the bonus show in person in London.
Yes.
We did do that. However, the audio is basically... Well, it's not unusable. It's just not up to our standards. Probably certain other podcasts would probably be all right with it.
Oh, yeah, they'll probably love that.
Yeah, they'd be up for it. But I'm not happy with it. So we are going to do, still going to do a bonus show, obviously. We're going to record that hopefully Wednesday night. So it's just going to slide under the door as it closes. We are going to get that done for the end of the month. It's going to be fine. I think we're going to tell spooky stories.
Yes. Is it just gonna be us three? I assume it is, right?
Dave's still out of action, so it'll be just the three of us. But then the one we recorded in the Airbnb, James was missing as well. So
you don't have to mention that.
Yeah,
classic.
All four of us together for the first time in ages. Oh, let's record a pod. Oh no, sorry, James just couldn't make it.
Chod in the chat says run it through some AI. I genuinely, this is how desperate I was to try and get this to work, as I did use that Adobe podcast processing thing. I fucking hate the way it sounds. Like, it did help, but I hate the way it sounds. I just can't do it. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll put that up as like just an extra thing. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we were slagging James off to
we were,
to hell. To be fair. It's probably best he doesn't hear that.
But he never listens
to put that out.
Good point. Yeah, shame. Some good stuff in there, actually. About puns, which no one will ever hear.
Feedback, Matt. Did we get any?
Yes. All Man Hot Chocolate Velvetizer is back, actually, after his big follow-up or big feedback from last week. Follow-up feedback, as requested. First, I can't believe he didn't win. You definitely should have. Yeah, have we mentioned that we didn't win the independent?
I wasn't going to talk about it, to be honest.
I mean, what's the point? What is the point?
Yeah, we didn't win the independent podcast.
No, we did not. Not only did we not win it, but we lost to the same people who won it last year.
Congratulations, the Apocalypse players.
And we're fine with that. We're absolutely fine with that.
A lot better this year than it was last year,
yeah. We had a nice time though, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's the main thing. We got to actually hang out. We wasted an hour recording a bonus show that we're not going to use. Yeah, all good stuff. I did film some stuff that I'm hopefully going to use for a new intro for the show.
Oh yeah,
at some point. They were pretty.
Was that what that was for?
What did you think it was for?
I didn't know what that was for.
Personal use.
I did wonder, Sean, like what that was about, and then I was just like, okay, fine.
James was really literally as James was leaving to catch his flight. I was like, James, I just need footage of you winking at the camera and then walking away. And you didn't know what that was for. Yeah, no point.
I thought it was for something else. I didn't know it was for an intro video.
Well, what else would that be for?
I don't know what goes on in your mind, Sean. It could have been.
Didn't question it. Yeah, I gotta do it.
Oh, goodness me. Sorry.
Yes.
Feedback, Matt.
All Man Hot Chocolate Velvetizer. Follow-up feedback. I was requested. First, I can't believe you didn't win. You definitely should have. Correct. I was very tempted to list my top 5 episodes solely from the period David was away, but the honest answer is I go back and listen to the E3 prediction and reveal shows and GOTY shows all the time. The Wookiee shows are amazing, but these shows are next level. I'm already excited for this year's GOTY. Particular highlights for me over the past 423 episodes were the massive argument on the episode before David had to apologise and dropped the act, Matt proclaiming Stadia as the future across multiple episodes, the rebrand, Dave being repeatedly correct about Chia. Well, come on.
Nah.
The bet, all of Capone's edits, James's edit, 2023's GOTY show, and James proclaiming you wanted your indie darling to win and it didn't, so fuck you. And the James Farley theme song on episode 415. I'm glad you saw my Star Calls correction tweet too. Marvel Calls is definitely on my list to listen to, but I feel I need to wait a few years so I can start tweeting corrections at James several years late, as is now tradition. I also intend to subscribe to the Patreon and listen to all the bonus shows. Then when I'm finally at TCGS content, I'll have to start considering something better, other award-winning podcasts. Also, I'm now speaking to a friend I haven't seen in ages, just due to life and adulting, as we both listen to this show, and he found out when you read my feedback out, and we were both planning to come to the next TCGS con together. Oh, nice.
Amazing. Yeah. That's really nice.
Just need to organise one first.
The Stadia stuff was really interesting. I was chatting with a friend of the show, Chris Spann, earlier today, and he was listening back to some old episodes, and it was one of the Stadia ones. And he's saying how, so bearing in mind this was only 5 years ago, like our whole sort of stance was like, well, this sounds a bit strange, but hey, Google wouldn't mess this up, right? They must know what they're doing. And isn't it fascinating that I don't think we would say that now.
No.
I know, you see, but also we should have been more on that when it was going on, because there was already like a massive Google graveyard of products that they'd started and then just binned off. I think we did
say like they are known for sunsetting things, but I just generally like the idea that Google definitely know what they're doing at all times is kind of eroded somewhat over the last 5 years, I would say.
I mean, I claimed it was the future in as much that I think streaming will probably, be a massive part of our future, as is always probably the case for certain people. But maybe. I mean, I'll have to go back and listen to it. But did I specifically say Stadia or just streaming in general? I mean, obviously,
I don't know, Matt.
I mean, you were going to get a tattoo, Matt. So of Stadia.
I don't think that was my suggestion, was it? I mean, that was your suggestion.
It does sound like the sort of thing you would do, and I think by us saying it over and over, it's just sort of become a thing that you said you would do.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mr. Tattoo, one of those.
Yeah, t-shirt would done. Yeah, I mean tattoo maybe not. Mr. Chappie, back from holiday. I always enjoy listening to the show while working my long 12-hour days and had 2 shows to catch up on. Excited to catch up with the boys while working, and that excitement soon turned into a great annoyance when Sean rightly pointed out the word chapping is used in Scotland, and Matt quietly muttered under his breath, "Scotch." Made me sick. Actually, no, someone else has said it before, and I just repeated what they said.
I thought Dave said it.
David said it. David said Scotch, and I repeated what he had said. So, anyway, now usually I let this stuff.
Coward, though, doesn't it? That's just.
Now usually I let stuff slide. As a good rivalry needs a good back and forth. But Sean, the next episode, jumped down David's throat for a low blow to Matt. I can't believe the regular fence hitter puts one man's feelings before an entire nation's. And we'll keep up the good work, lads, and look forward to him making Matt and his little Wookiee physically sick at the next live show.
Not sure what that means.
No, can we not talk about my little Wookiee on this podcast? I'm fairly sure it was David who said Scotch.
I think it was as well.
And I just repeated it. So I think, Mr. Chappie, you need to. Well, I mean, this is embarrassing because it could well be me, but I haven't got the audio.
We haven't
right now
gone
to
back
prove
and checked, which is shameful. Dave would have gone back and checked because he's petty.
Yeah, I don't think
it's a good word to describe him. I hadn't thought of that, but
who's next?
Other Sean, after your impromptu performance of the song Life on the last episode, did I hear Matt mutter that he loves M people? Oh my god, it was a joke. Life wasn't released by them people, but by Desiree. I know that because Desiree Desiree is basically quoted in The Office. I know it is Desiree. You've really got to, you've got to be quick at this thing. I can only do so much. You've got to, whatever. But by Desiree, and was famously voted a song with the worst lyrics of all time, due to Desiree describing getting over a fear of ghosts by having a piece of toast. Keep up the good work,
and
lads.
Watching the evening news. That's the end of that line.
Yeah, but keep up the good work, lads. Love the show.
But Matt, do you love M people?
No.
Oh.
I think Heather Small's a great singer, but
with M people, it's more of a Lighthouse Family guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ocean Drive, mate.
But yes, I know Desiree wasn't talking about M people. That was the joke. If it wasn't funny, then take it up with someone else.
It wasn't a joke. It was a quip.
It was, that was sort of a quip.
Yeah, well, I guess that's more a quip than a joke. Yeah. Anyway,
not a pun though.
Trash. No, definitely not. Trash Bandy Hoop. Matt re-quips. If you need guidance, please see Sean's. Okay, if you need guidance, please see Sean, whose "I do" response to James's reveal that his wife thinks everything that comes out of his mouth sounds sarcastic was a high watermark for quips. It was subtle. It found the perfect gap in the conversation. It was delivered almost as an aside, and it was not accompanied by the author laughing at his own cleverness. Simply top drawer quippage worthy of Oscar Wilde himself. Bravo, sir. I shall buy a hat this lunchtime and doff it to you.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
Well done, Sean.
Matt, pay attention.
Yeah. I will. Do I often laugh at my own?
No, I don't think so.
No, that's what the audience do. That's not me. I'm not laughing at anything I do. Well, yeah, I do. I mean, that's been pretty brutal. Like 3 punches in a row there for me. So I need to.
Yeah, sorry. When I was pasting them into the doc, I should have spread
fucking hell. No, it's
out a bit.
No, it's good because if you do that, it'll be the whole show. Tom, cupboard full of mini eggs of Haribo ready for Halloween, has messaged. When listening to last week's show, I let my laser focus drift for a microsecond in which you mentioned the name of the game with the dog that looked like an uncle dressed as a dog who shouldn't be dressed as a dog. While you all rhapsodied for about 45 minutes about the unseemly dog uncle, I waited patiently for someone to say the name of the game again. But you reached the end of the discussion and moved on. That's okay, I thought, because I've made such a fucking big deal 2 episodes ago about how they always put names of the games to talk about in the show notes. In this case, this kind of thing ever happens. So I look forward to seeing a disconcerting humanoid dog in what, Sit and Sleeper 2, I guess? P.S. I've since watched the trailer for The Legend of Babu, and the dog, in fact, looks like an uncle dressed as Mr. Beaver from the BBC adaptation of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
He really does. He's nailed that. It does look like that.
100%. No, sorry, Tom. What we meant was we'll put the names of games we actually discuss in the show notes in the what you've been playing bit. Not every game we talk about when we're going through the rundown of a showcase or similar.
I mean,
I think that's fair enough, right?
I mean, also in this case, you could just rewind like 2 minutes and you get what the game was.
We go.
You know, it's good to do that.
Yeah, I think James has got it there. I think absolutely just rewind.
Listen to every episode twice. Ideally on different platforms, and then we.
Just use your podcast players, you know, back 30-second function, and then you're there.
What was the game?
The Legend of Babu.
Okay, it really was that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was very tempted actually to put that in as the episode thumbnail last week, and I was like, have I ever put in a random thing just because of a mention? But I didn't bother. Lee, never pronounced neighbor or never is Spanish for snow. Likewise, Greece is Spanish for grey.
That's worth knowing. I knew about Greece, but I didn't know never/neighbor is Spanish for snow.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Good to know.
That knowledge.
Uncle Fancy Dress Dogface, please, for love of all that is holy, never let the recording run when Sean's dog needs a shit again. It sounded like the inane ramblings of 4 pensioners in an old folks' home trying to remember that thing with the woman in it. The woman who was married to him out of that other thing. You know, the man who danced with the face was a baddie on Vera. Love you guys, but no.
This was Dave trying to remember the band who released the single on USB stick, wasn't it?
Yeah, normally I wouldn't bother, but I was like, wow, this might be very interesting.
This was an editorial decision, wasn't it, you made?
Yeah.
I thought it was fine when I listened back, and I think it was too embarrassing.
I think it was totally fine.
Yeah.
Independent Podcast Awards Judge 1 has definitely messaged. Dear TCGS, I'm writing to inform you of the reason you have not won an award this year. Yes, it is me, the Independent Podcast Award Judge 1. I shall remain anonymous, of course. Why you did not win last week? Well, there can only be one reason, and that reason is, of course, James Farley. I regret to inform you that the award was yours, basically a sure thing. On the 10th of October, me and my judge friends have sat down to listen to the episode, the latest episode of all the podcasts, and to have discussed at 9 minutes into episode 422, James can be using foul language. And again, at 29 minutes into the podcast, he can be heard again with the same language and also threaten the listener in the process. This is unacceptable for an award-winning show. All my fellow judges were shook. One has even been seen reaching for a bin to vomit in. Whispers could be heard. How could he threaten someone like that? What a vile man. Then there was a vote that was made to give the award to another podcast, Dungeons and Dildos or something like that. How can you fix this for next year? Here are some suggestions. 1, replace James with lettuce or Poochie from The Simpsons. Add an AI member, as all big innovative companies love AI. Have James wear a muzzle during the podcast. Or what could be the easiest is just let him take holidays again and he'll show up for 2 shows between now and next year. I know James is your friend and the merch moneymaker, but if you want an award-winning podcast, some hard decisions have to be made for next year. Your friend, Independent Podcast Award 1. And I'll just go to the next one, James, and maybe you can reply. Independent Podcast Awards 27 has got in touch. I'd like to write in to complain about James Farley. Never have I heard such vulgar language and threatening behaviour. It caused me to vomit into a bin.
I mean, I stand by those comments, and I think they were things that need to be said. So yeah, I'd stand by that. If it means we don't win an award,
first. You were responding to a threat, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So you remember now, yeah.
These were things that need to be said. So it's, okay.
But you're just contributing to the cycle of violence. This is like Last of Us Part 2 all over again. It's got to be broken at some point.
I didn't start it, but I did finish it.
Love that. That is it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/deartcgs. Leave your feedback.
James, what's happened this week, please? I'm not doing a news intro, don't worry.
Oh,
well, I've done that thing where I forgot that I used to do them, and now I'm like, oh shit, I don't know people.
Just make one up on the spot. Then go on.
I haven't seen any current events for the last week because the news is too upsetting.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, the first news story is about our friends at Ubisoft.
Oh, good.
Again, because we don't talk about them very often on the show.
No, doesn't often
But
come up.
they've disbanded the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown team,
Oh,
and
good.
this
For the
is
crime of
apparently
making a good game.
yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently it's because it didn't perform as expected. As is
God.
what seems to happen. So Ubisoft have now said that most of the team members who worked on the game have shifted to other projects that will benefit from their expertise. That's the quote. And they also clarified that there's no layoffs have occurred due to this decision. It's just people have been been moved to other locations. And I mean, I heard on what podcast was it? I think it was the IGN one actually, where they were talking about how they'd been moved back to the Beyond Good and Evil team, and
Jesus,
like the
good
people
luck.
exactly, because then they were like saying apparently working on Prince of Persia was really good. Like they had the team was really solid, really good team. Worked on together, really happy working on it, happy to be away from Beyond Good and Evil, and now they're back there. So that must be not great.
Why are they still pretending that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to come out? It's
It
ridiculous.
will, but I don't know why they're still calling it Beyond Good and Evil 2, because I'm sure it's going to have very little to do with the original game at this point.
Yeah, or anything to do with that footage they showed us.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it have anything to do with the original game? I mean, yes, it probably won't look anything like that trailer we saw at E3 about 42 years ago. But surely, James? Why wouldn't it link to the original game?
Well, that trailer didn't look anything like the original game. It was. I mean, if we're going by that trailer, with the swearing monkeys and all that kind of thing, it's tonally it was quite off. From Beyond Good and Evil, the original one. But I know. I mean, do you want to hear what Eves has had to say about recent Ubisoft performance? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said, our second quarter performance fell short of our expectations, prompting us to address this swiftly and firmly, with an even greater focus on a player-centric, gameplay-first approach and an unwavering commitment to the long-term value of our brands.
Cool.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I just think it's silly. Is it no longer... I always thought the common wisdom with games was if something reviews really well but then doesn't sell, then that's not the developer's fault. That's that's either marketing or it's someone whoever at the publisher greenlit it thinking it would be a hit, and so it's like the theming of the game or the genre or whatever. I don't know. I thought the wisdom used to be that you did not punish developers for this sort of things. Yeah, they clearly made a good game. It's not on them.
Yeah, right? But this was a full price title, wasn't it? Wasn't it also like?
Yeah, was it like 50? Was it $50 it retail for? Was it like 40 quid here? Something like
it was pretty expensive.
It wasn't like 70 quid. Like it wasn't like
no, it wasn't 70 quid. But I think
it wasn't like indie quote unquote.
No, I was gonna say I think a lot of people may have been put off by that price. Yeah, how much was it? I mean, I enjoyed what little I played, but everyone seemed to be talking up and saying it's one of the best games of the year and stuff. But this is classic kind of not meeting sales expectations. What Ubisoft said like a million times already. But it's, I mean, so the people are going, they're not actually getting laid off, they're actually just moving to other departments, which is within Ubisoft.
Which is something, the bar is low enough now that we're like, well, at least they're not getting laid off. That's
It's a shame though, because it was a cracking game. That was it was really, and apparently there was going to be more DLC and stuff for it as well. They were working on.
And then I would love to see what they would have done with the sequel as well. But never mind.
Well, so the publishing chief of Larian has got why he thinks this has happened, because he's described Ubisoft's broken strategy of like releasing games. So this is Michael Dose, and he's spoken about these problems, and particularly he's blamed two things really for Ubisoft. One is this isn't really Ubisoft, although it is because they do have their own service, but he talks about releasing games on subscription services and then also releasing stuff on Steam as being, or rather not releasing stuff on Steam.
I was going to say, because Prince of Persia did not come out on Steam, did it? It was just on Uplay.
Again, that's so stupid.
And it's exactly the same with Star Wars Outlaws as well. That didn't come out on Steam like when it launched either. And he's basically saying they're leaving money on the table by doing this. It's like, why wouldn't you do that? So he said if it had released on Steam, not only would it have been a market success, but there would likely be a sequel because the team are so strong. It's such a broken strategy. The hardest thing is to make an 85+ game. I mean, Matt knows that. It is much
that
easier.
was unnecessary. Oh, sorry. I just realised what you meant. I thought you were.
No, I think James was referring to Star Wars Outlaws.
I was referring to Star Wars Outlaws.
Right,
Yes.
I thought you meant something else, and I thought I was very nasty.
I'm always getting in the neck from a stupid show.
It is much, much easier to release one. It just shouldn't be done as it was. And then he talked about Ubisoft's comments about people, because Ubisoft recently said people should be comfortable about not owning games. That it shouldn't be like a thing, and it should just be subscription services. And he said, if the statement gamers should get used to not owning their games is true because of a specific release strategy, subs above sales, then the statement developers must get used to not having jobs if they make a critically acclaimed game is also true, and that just isn't sensible, even from a business perspective. So his argument seems to be that if you put out like a critically acclaimed game on a subscription service, then unless it leads to like a massive uptick in subscriptions, then it's no better than a bad game for the service. Doesn't make any difference. Whereas if a game is like critically acclaimed and then it picks up a lot of sales on Steam, it won't disappear. From that, there's a chance that it will maybe potentially rise to the top. And so he's having a go at the subscription services. But there we go.
Matt's just dropped out. That's
slightly we have just lost Matt.
Worrying. There he is. He's back. Hello.
Oh, I said that in the chat, so you didn't have to stop.
Sorry. I know. Well, every time you do it, it makes everyone watching the stream see the scary dead man. Mind you, it is nearly Halloween, so fair enough. Right. The whole because I know like Animal Make 2 didn't release on Steam as well. That was slightly different because it was an Epic Store exclusive. Presumably they got a nice payout for that. I really hope they did because again, I do think it really hurt sales. Like it's probably not a good thing that Steam has such a monopoly on PC, on like the PC market in general. But it just feels like every time. Well, not every time, but often when a game hasn't done very well, and it's like, oh yeah, they also didn't bother releasing it on Steam, and it's like, well.
Everyone needs to stop using their own launchers.
And who knows what the situation was with Alan Wake 2? Maybe they needed the money from that deal to like get it over the line or whatever. But it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, like every time like this happens, like okay, we'll just stop releasing on Uplay or it's or whatever EA's one used to be. I know EA now launching their game, or they're releasing their games now on Steam as well, but it's like just everyone needs to stop doing their own launcher and just launch where the biggest market is, and you can't be surprised. But it's I mean, this obviously follows up on the Prince of Persia thing, but the whole thing is just quite sad, right, isn't it?
And especially like obviously we've talked loads about Game Pass, whether or not it's working, and obviously we're now like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 coming out is like a big deal. This is like a real test of whether or not Microsoft's whole strategy is working. And we're all sort of looking, we're looking at that and wondering whether or not that's actually working out for them. They're a platform holder, not just one public. Like obviously, Ubisoft are massive, EA are massive, but this whole dream of like different publishers having their own subscription services is just looking really absurd now because we don't even know if Xbox's one is working properly. So the idea that it would work for a smaller pool of games from one publisher just seems really silly at this point.
Do you think we're ever actually going to find out about that with Black Ops 6? Like whether, do you think we're ever going to see any numbers or anything like that? Because I don't think we will.
Only if the numbers are really good.
I think they will be good. I think they'll probably, we've had like the biggest uptick in Game Pass subs, or Game Pass subs have hit its milestone over the weekend, or most amount of. I think we'll probably see that kind of stuff, but
we won't see how many copies less they've sold from the last Call of Duty, right? Like because that's not a criticism necessarily. Like obviously there is going to be like a conversion rate there between people who used to buy it and now just have Game Pass. But it's they won't. But also, on that, I don't think.
Critically with that, they need those people to stay subscribed as well.
Yes.
Because if they're just like subscribing for like a month or 2 months or whatever just to play COD, then that's it just feels like they're taking it at a loss at that point. They need people to stick by it. But
it comes back to that thing of like, okay, you signed up for Game Pass to play Call of Duty, that's great. How long are you staying subscribed for? And paying enough money to like to have gone above the amount that you would have paid for Call of Duty and anything else you ended up playing on Game Pass. Do you know what I mean? Like, would they have been better off just allowing you to buy those games to own rather than just paying for your subscription? Who knows? I mean, obviously they know what they're doing in one sense, because obviously they've killed off the £1 upgrade deals and stuff. Like they're obviously very aware of how big Call of Duty hopefully will be for them. But I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because obviously, if you're playing on Xbox, you've got some kind of subscription. Would people who are mega into COD, would they just have the old Xbox Live Core, Game Pass Core, or would they actually be Game Pass subscribers anyway? You know.
See, and that's the thing, because you need to go to Ultimate to actually get it, because you don't get it on the other tiers. It's only on the top tier you get it now.
It's one of those. It'd be also interesting to, I mean, this we'll never know, but like, to find out how many like PlayStation 5 owners or PlayStation 4 owners are buying the new COD and thinking like, I feel like a fucking mug having to pay for this game. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's enough to make anyone be like, right, well, I may as well buy an Xbox, and technically that'll be a savings from Matt Murray maths.
Profit.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's too far a stretch, but you do wonder how much sort of brand damage is done by people now having to, like, PlayStation owners now having to buy Call of Duty when they know Xbox gamers are just like, well, I'll just pay my sub and it's just there. Cheers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking really, but yeah, it's interesting.
Do you want to hear about a CEO getting a massive pay rise?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's my favourite thing, especially in this climate.
Exactly. I mean, Satya Nadella of Microsoft has just he's had a pay rise of 63% to $79 million after they laid off 1,900 staff this year, and then a further 650 staff later on in September. That was from January and then in September.
But he's shown he can make the hard decisions, James. That's the thing. He's actually worth that money because he's saved that amount.
And also, I mean, Microsoft shares are up now, and the company's valued at higher than $3 trillion. So yeah, it's all good.
So that's why he's been rewarded, I assume. Yeah, that's 63% increase. My word.
Yeah, that's an increase on what he got in 2023. So,
I mean, I genuinely, I don't know how this stuff works. Is he allowed to say no?
I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, he's allowed to turn it down.
Yeah, I'm sure he could. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But I mean, why would he?
Yeah.
But I'm sure he could if he really wanted to. But I mean, so they let like 2,500 people go. I mean, I wonder how much that was saving them in cash.
Probably not close to $60.9 million. I'd have thought. I don't know. What do you think?
For a single year, I don't know. I've not run the maths.
Yeah. Somebody will, and will then inform us that we're idiots and wrong. So
probably.
Yeah.
Does happen. Yeah. But that's not a good headline, is it?
I mean, Microsoft's doing well in other aspects, but obviously the Xbox side less so.
Well, I suppose not to defend it, but the other thing to remember is that Xbox is just one bit of Microsoft and not a particularly big bit necessarily. Obviously, it's big to us, but yeah.
Do you want to hear what he had to say about Microsoft gaming in his most recent report?
Do you want to hear what he said about his pay rise?
Yeah. lovely money.
Go on, what's he have to say about Xbox gaming then?
It says, we are bringing great games to more people on more devices. With our acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, which closed October 2023, we've added hundreds of millions of players to our ecosystem. We now have 20 franchises that have generated over $1 billion in lifetime revenue, from Candy Crush, Diablo, and Halo to Warcraft, Elder Scrolls, and Gears of War. So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah, but with the next news story, he's also reaffirmed his commitment to bringing games to more people on more devices. So there was these rumours going that the porting had been paused. You know, this idea of stuff going to PlayStation and everything. Yeah. But Nadella has now said that this is not the case. And he said, Xbox remains committed to bringing great games to more people on more devices, and we plan to extend the strategy to bring most notable franchises to other platforms like PS5 and Nintendo Switch. So that,
because hasn't he? I think he's the one who was pushing for this stuff, right?
Yeah,
which makes sense, because if he's coming from a Windows background where the whole point is you get it on as many devices as possible.
Yeah.
Like to him, it's insane that it's like, what do you mean we just make Xbox games just for the Xbox? That's madness. He's not entirely wrong.
It is weird, isn't it? Because it is like Xbox is the anomaly at Microsoft. You know, this idea of like, because it's a software company, and it's always been like you release this on everything. You know, even like they've always released it on like Office, on like Mac, and on like even on like Linux they've released stuff as well. It it doesn't make sense, but. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I don't see what franchise they would actually hold back at this point. Maybe Halo, but at that point,
but then you have to wonder about the move to Unreal, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Like that's probably significant in terms of getting it on other platforms.
But yeah, like Gears of War being $1 billion franchise, I kind of didn't. Well, that's what you said.
I don't know, because I've never been that into Gears of War, and I've never, like most of my friends aren't really that fussed about it. I've never had this perception that it's like a really big deal. I know it's like it was big in like the 360 days. But
I never thought it was like, but it's not like Warcraft big or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Which is like
maybe that one's just crept over the $1 billion mark, but still, like that's still mightily impressive for Gears of War. Which I'm excited for a new one. Excited for what comes next. And the rest of all, I'm not surprised with Candy Crush. I guess that's not a surprise, is it?
Final story is that Valve have rejected like a yearly cadence of Steam Deck hardware releases, and this is because they said they want to be like fair, to people. So, they've said that instead they're looking for like a generational leap in performance. And I mean, the quote was, they said, "We're not going to do a bump every year. There's no reason to do that. And honestly, from our perspective, that's kind of not really fair to your customers to come out with something so soon that's only incrementally better. So we really do want to wait for a generational leap in compute without sacrificing battery life before we ship the real second generation of Steam Deck. But it's something we're excited about and we're working on." I mean, I think this is really good, actually, honestly.
We mentioned this briefly last week, but I think it's worth doing the story proper. It's really interesting. And as you say, it's weird. I mean, obviously, whether they meant this as a dig at the PS5 Pro or not, I don't know. I think the case of the Steam Deck is different because they make the point that a lot of it is to do with battery capacity. So it's like, yes, we could make a more powerful one, but for every bit of power, you can only make batteries so good in a handheld device, right? I think the other thing is, and I know I've said this before, part of the reason the Steam Deck works, a really big part of it, is being able to go on Steam and just see which games are verified for the Steam Deck, and you don't have to worry about performance or configuring the controls or the size of the text on the screen. And that's how you guarantee that sort of console experience on it. Obviously, PC audience, that's not necessarily what they want, but I don't think the Steam Deck is for them necessarily. Like, if you're really into that stuff, there are other more powerful handhelds you can buy that run Windows if that's what you really want. I think the niche the Steam Deck has carved out is not necessarily for that sort of player. So yeah, this stuff makes sense, and it's nice to hear because I really like my Steam Deck, and I'll be excited when there's a proper good new one. But at the moment, I wouldn't relish the thought of there being a slightly better one, which then divides the store into like, well, it runs on this Steam Deck, but not so much this one.
Yeah,
it
gets messy then, doesn't it?
It does.
Is the Steam Deck, like the current one though, is it able to play like more recent stuff? And I'm talking like the more sort of like graphically intensive stuff or whatever.
It depends.
Or are we in a Switch situation?
Like I say, like I've chosen not to play God of War on it, just because I know how that game is supposed to look, and on the Steam Deck, it's not great. But then there's stuff like Death Stranding looks incredible and runs at 60 frames on the Steam Deck. Like it's bizarre, like what runs well and what doesn't. It's really, really strange. But again, that speaks to, like, I know I'm not gonna play stuff like God of War on it, and I'm fine with that. Like, to me, it's an indie machine, and I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, there's then the complication if you're plugging it into the TV. What resolution is the game going to run at? Depends on the game, and that's all a bit of a faff. But for the most part, yeah, like I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, I think when the next one comes around, I'll definitely want to be there and get it.
Yeah, mate, it's the best. It's really good. Like,
is it still the best? I mean, I know lots of people talking like there was at the Asus like ROG Ally,
Yeah.
and there's other ones that are coming stuff, but this one's still, you reckon, still the de facto one to get?
I mean, obviously, the other ones generally have better specs, I think. But as I say, just getting the Steam Deck and just it loading straight into a Steam interface that is made for the Steam Deck, and being able to see, like, be able to know exactly which games are going to work and which ones aren't. Like, and because it's this one spec that developers are now fully aware of, and will, like, games will come out and they might be like playable on deck initially, which is not the same as being verified, but then they'll be like a week or two later, they're like, yes, hello, we've done a Steam Deck patch, sorry. Like, it's like a valuable enough like portion of the audience now that like devs are targeting it. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's funny. Sometimes I look at it and just think, because I used to really like PC gaming. Like, I used to like a lot. I used to play like during the 90s. I was like really into that. And occasionally I look at it and I just think, I could play X-Wing or TIE Fighter again on this probably.
Yeah,
And it's
yes,
like,
you could.
that would be
Well,
quite nice.
Yeah, that's like the weird thing with the Steam Deck is like when people ask like, oh, I'm getting a Steam Deck, like what's the first thing I should do? It's like, mate, just load up your library and pick something that you really enjoyed sort of 5 to 10 years ago. And you're like, oh shit, I can play this portably, and it, like, with all the highest settings and stuff, it's a weirdly good feeling. Yeah.
Like, do you mostly play a handheld? Like, is it really rare for you to actually play on TV?
I'd say it's about 50-50.
Okay.
Varies. I definitely play it more on the TV than I thought I would. Like, I got the dock thinking, well, it'd be nice just for somewhere, like, to have somewhere where I know where it is, and where I leave it to charge, and also it'll be plugged into the TV. That might be useful. But like, it's surprising how much I've used. So like, I didn't put it in the dock actually. Cat Quest 3. I talked about Cat Quest 2 a while back. Me and Isaac played through it together. Cat Quest 3 came out a couple of months ago, and yeah, like we've played that co-op on the TV just with two. Like, just like, it's a bit weird because I'm never going to have two controllers that are dedicated to the Steam Deck, right? So I had to like grab an Xbox pad and synchronize that with the. So that was a bit of a faff, but that's not the Steam Deck's fault. But yeah, that was like a perfectly seamless co-op experience on the TV. That was really nice.
Steam Valve don't make controllers anymore, do they?
No, the Steam controller they did wasn't good, right? I think everyone hated it.
They sold them all for like $5 each, didn't they, at some point?
Yeah, and it had those weird sort of concave like touch panels, which was supposed to be like using a mouse, and surprise, they weren't. So yeah, I think that's gone now.
That's kind of a shame, because it'd be nice if they had like,
Well, yeah, but like I feel like isn't like the de facto Steam controller basically the Xbox pad at this point? I mean,
Pretty
like
much.
massive like high percentages of people, if they use controllers, are using the Xbox pad. Obviously now there's I think a year or so ago, or maybe more, like the PlayStation features work on DualSense on PC, so you don't really need a specific PC pad now, do you? Just have many options you've already got.
Because I know like controller support is a pain for PC games, but then that's an issue independent of the Steam Deck. Like, but it means that because it's annoying for devs anyway, and it's something they have to support anyway, you can connect a Xbox controller or a Switch controller or a PlayStation controller, and it knows the button prompts, or glyphs as it calls them. So if you connect the PlayStation controller, you get the circle, square, triangle, etc. Which is quite nice. And also, if you use a PS4 pad, you can change the colour of the light on the bar, which is
nice touch.
Yeah. Oh, and you can use the touchpad as a touchpad as well. So that's like, if there's anything where you need like a bit of mouse control like that, that's really useful. Yeah, tons of weird things it does that you wouldn't necessarily expect.
Yeah, so I wonder when we will get the next Steam Deck update in. I mean,
a few years off at least. I don't think that's fine.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe the new Switch will come out and they'll be like, oh no, this is the place to play indie stuff now because it's way more powerful than.
They're like, quick, get another one out. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
I still reckon we're going to be quite disappointed with how powerful the Switch 2 is going to be.
I don't think it's going to be huge. It's like, it's obviously not going to be as powerful. I don't think it'll be like, it's not going to be a Series S, is it? Clearly.
No.
I just want to go back to the days where I'm not having to Google, game Switch performance. I just want to know. I was on Switch. I'll buy it on Switch then because I'll play it more often. I don't have to say, well, how does it actually compare to like PS5 and Xbox? Whereas in the first few years, you didn't bother. Like, oh, it's on Switch. I'll buy it on Switch then.
Well, it was weird, like when the Series S came out as well, because initially there was a lot of interest in how stuff was going to run on the Series S, and because devs were getting used to it and stuff, and not every game ran brilliantly on the Series S initially. Then it felt like they sort of settled into it, but now we're back into it sort of being a bit outpaced, and devs not necessarily having the resources to support it the way they used to. It's interesting. But yeah, I'd say it's tedious. Like, you buy a console because you want to just know that whatever you put in it is going to work, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder when there'll be like, if there'll be a moment, a cut off for Series S. So yeah, and we know you got this, but actually,
It's got to be right.
Come on.
Yeah.
There will have to be there'll have to be a point, surely.
It can't be for a while though, because they've sold loads of them, haven't they?
They have, and they brought out obviously the newer version of it. Was that last year, this year?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think we'll start seeing more exceptions, like with Baldur's Gate 3. Where they said like, yes, you can not have.
Split screen or whatever it was. Or,
it was like local co-op. I think we'll start seeing more exceptions being made like that, and Microsoft will sort of hope that people start noticing, and then upgrade. I don't know.
Because like people like the people who develop Fortnite and Roblox and those kinds of games where like I'm sure a massive proportion of second Xbox consoles in people's houses are like maybe like a Fortnite machine or Roblox or Rocket League. Like they're going to want to keep updating, and supporting that, because I bet there's a huge part of the audience that's probably on that.
But and obviously a lot of those games have to run on tablets and phones and stuff, because again that's where so much of the audience is. So yeah, those games aren't necessarily going to be that interested in newer hardware, I guess.
No, I guess, but yeah, as you say, because they're so well optimized already for such such an immense number of different layouts and machines and performances and whatnot.
It's like Minecraft. Like Minecraft, the PS5 version of Minecraft has just been released. It's been ages. Since since that came out. But yeah, it's been a long time. But now it's finally come out.
This is a tangent. Sorry, Minecraft still doesn't support ray tracing on consoles, does it?
I don't think so, no. I know that
But that was teased like 2 or 3 E3s ago, wasn't it? Wasn't it that amazing thing where it showed like all like the underwater stuff and
you would think like if there was any game to sort of go, hey, look, this one does ray tracing, because I understand there are so many games that can do it, but frame rate suffers or whatever. But then those games aren't just made of massive cubes, right? So you would think Minecraft would be like a good way to show that off. It's a game that everyone's already got on Game Pass, etc. I don't know. It seemed like such an obvious win, but I guess they just haven't got it running consistently enough.
There's been a lot of discontent, I know, around the Minecraft community about recent updates. I mean,
really?
I should bring Asher on, because he knows everything about these that's been going on, because he follows it like in super detail. But yeah, I know that recent updates have not been so successful.
Blimey.
But yeah. But that, I mean, that's the end of the news, honestly. I mean, yeah, that's it.
Cool.
What a great week for news.
Yeah, not a lot happening.
No, I think, I mean, maybe the news is calming down in the lead up to the Game Awards.
It's that, and it's also the fact that every week, at the beginning of every week, some person comes out and says, like, Switch 2 this week. It's getting announced. My sources tell me that there's going to be an announcement.
There was heavy rumours last week, wasn't there? Heavy rumours. Was it last week or the week before? It's like, look, we really think it's going to be this Wednesday, probably. Yeah. Like, really?
No.
It's not going to happen, is it?
Happening.
Yeah.
What have we been playing? Now, obviously, there's been a massive release this week, which we've sort of played. We do kind of really need Dave here for this. It's Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And basically, the reason we could do with Dave being here is that he's actually consistently played Call of Duty, whereas I fell off it a long time ago.
I've played them all as well, Sean.
Have you?
Yeah.
You kept that quiet. We haven't played this one, though, have you?
No.
So that is not useful.
I've not been here, but no, I've played all the other releases.
Because
David and I game share.
Is an incredible sentence.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. Yeah, Black Ops 6 is out. Obviously, as we were saying before, the whole wild thing about this is that it's on Game Pass, and which is the only reason I've played it, right? Because I wouldn't have bothered otherwise, and a lot of my friends are on it as well, and that's been really cool because we actually got together and played a bit of zombies the other night and had a really good time. Like, as I say, I'm completely out of step with Call of Duty. I played the new Modern Warfare 2 a few years ago, just played a bit of the campaign, did not get on with it. I've played a bit of the campaign in this one, and again, it hasn't grabbed me. Matt, you've done a bit of the campaign, is that right?
Yeah, I used to love the campaigns for Call of Duty, and I got really heavily originally into the original multiplayer of Modern Warfare 2. I got super addicted to that. I was ringing and sticking all sorts, or booking holidays just to play that game. It was ridiculous. But then I can't remember even the last campaign I played. But then I've just heard reviews haven't been great for the campaigns. Or David or James, you both said like it's probably not worth it, and I didn't bother. But I used to love every year playing the campaign for a Call of Duty game because it's like a fun 4.5 hour or 5 hour like action movie romp, and I used to love it. That was like a bit of a Christmas tradition. But the reviews of this have been really, really good. I mean, it's got loads of 9s out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, and they're like, it's a great campaign. And the fact it's on Game Pass as well, I was absolutely going to start playing it.
But like the last good Call of Duty campaign that I remember playing was like the last Black Ops. That was it was great. It was a really strong one, and this is why not particularly surprised to see this one is also very good, because they've always been able to go off in like a slightly different direction or tangent with these ones. Rather,
I was going to say, yeah, they're not straight up like proper military stories, are they? They're a bit not really James Bond, but they're a bit silly, sort of globe-trotting.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mission Impossible or that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
which I'm well up for, honestly.
Yeah, I definitely prefer. Like, I'm not really, especially given current events, not really up for a story about war, like actual proper war. Whereas, yeah, going around taking out drug dealers and stuff, not so bad. So...
Yeah, I mean, having not played ones for a long time, the fact it started with like a Marvel-esque intro, with all the old characters from from Call of Duty. I was like,
to me,
it meant nothing. I mean, I recognise a couple, but I was like, yeah, okay. I guess this is what it's like now. It's like the intro is like the Marvel opening, where it's got all these famous scenes from previous Call of Duty games. One thing I found funny, I finished the first level. It's not very long at all, and I got on Xbox one of those kind of like rare achievements.
Oh yeah,
that shows how few people are bothering with the campaign.
So it wasn't like so it wasn't actually a difficult achievement.
No. It's just literally I finished the first level. And you get like the diamond ones or whatever, like the. And I was like, fucking hell. Okay, I guess no one is playing this, or very few.
I really think Microsoft should stop using those, because every single time I play a game like on Xbox, it always brings those up. Like a rare achievement,
and it just makes you think like, oh right, so no one played this for more than 10 years then. Like,
it does make you think that for sure.
I mean, that game that we streamed the other night, that happened. Like, I was getting achievements on that, and it was like sparking up with like rare achievement or whatever. And you're just like, that's probably not a great idea.
No, it just gets a bit embarrassing after a little. Plus, the noise is too fucking loud.
Yeah,
every time it happens, I'm like, Jesus. I'm gonna wake my son up.
But yeah, I'm on second level, but I'm just enjoying the stupid dumb action. I don't know what's happening in the story. I don't really care. I don't need to care.
The fucking dialogue is so, like, they must be doing it on purpose, because it's just so full of cliches. Like when you leave the fucking
safe
CIA
house
office, and she's like, "Hey, do me a favor. Don't get killed out there." Well, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, but I feel like it knows itself.
Nice
Yeah, I feel like it knows itself. I think it knows what kind of dumb Mission Impossible style action movie style it is. But no, I mean, I'm just going to keep playing it, because it's just I thought, this is exactly what I want. It's like a dumb shoot 'em up. So yeah, I'm interested to see what Dave and what you think, James, when you get to play it, because I haven't really read any reviews. I heard it did well campaign wise, so I know nothing more on that.
Definitely, like I say, what I played of the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, I thought was genuinely quite bad, because there was just loads of bits where if you just like run off in slightly the wrong direction, it's like, you're dead. You're supposed to do this, or you ran too far away from this character. Like, you were so railroaded,
right? Okay.
And like, I know that's in service of it being cinematic, but when it's like when you're just constantly failing because of stuff you didn't spot or whatever. It's like, well, that's just poor, you know. And the fact that it did like another mission where you're in the plane shooting the men on the ground. It's like, we're just doing the same stuff again, all right. But without, you know, at least when that happened in the original Modern Warfare, it was like, this is horrible. This is making a point about how horrible this is, and like the language they're using, and how it's like, oh yeah, they're sort of totally dehumanizing these people. Whereas in the recent one, Modern Warfare 2, it was just, oh, this is just a cool bit, and I found that really jarring. Whereas this campaign feels very far removed from that stuff, and I haven't, like, it is in a lot of ways quite familiar, but it's not so obviously just playing the hits, you know.
Yeah. So you said, was the last Black Ops the one that came with that Battle Royale mode, James? Or was there more since? Because I remember playing
Warzone always been a separate.
No, it wasn't Warzone. It was called Blackout. That was when they did their first. Because I remember playing that. Well, I remember playing Blackout with John and Dave and everyone, but I can't remember playing the campaign specifically. But that was the last Black Ops, was it?
I'm pretty certain it was, yeah, that it released with that, because it was that, and then I mean, and also, yeah, as I said, the campaign was great as well. Like, it was a really interesting, like, that was one where there's one mission.
Was that the Cold War stuff?
Yeah, it was totally Cold War, which was what was really interesting. Like, there's one mission where you're in like a KGB like compound, and you've got to like, you know, you're like dressing up and all that kind of stuff, and having to like use forged papers and all that kind of thing. It was great. It was a really, that felt like a diversion from, you know, like as Sean was saying, like this more sort of like serious and inverted commas like sort of sides of like the other Modern Warfare games. I mean, that Modern Warfare game that you were talking about, Sean, was that the one that had the Amsterdam level in it as well?
Yes.
Because I hated that. I thought it was awful.
It was beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
But it was, well, I think that mission was only about 5 minutes long, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You just walk into an alley and then you shoot someone, and then I can't really, you just have to get away. And I was like, oh, right, okay, that seems like a waste. Yeah, didn't get on with that.
So I know I should know this because it's been out for ages. But so, what is zombies, or how does that gameplay work?
Well, this is the thing, because I know zombies has been in. I think it's only been in Black Ops, right? I don't think it's been in Modern Warfare. I think, I don't know.
James,
but
do you
it's
know?
been around for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, zombies has been around for like a really long time. I think what did that launch? I think that didn't that launch with like one of the like World at War or something like that. Even like it was a very long time ago that like the zombies mode like first appeared.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a wave based like survival mode with you and up to 3 of your friends or strangers. You can play it solo, which actually works better than you would think. Obviously, it's better with mates, but it's still worth playing on your own. And it's basically, you are dropped into a town. Well, there's 2 maps. The one I've played is it's just a bit of a town, and what's really interesting is, so it's not like Left 4 Dead, right, where there's like a progression and there's like a series of stages and stuff. It's this one map, but bits of it are all gated off, and you have to spend, so you get points for shooting zombies, which, as I say, come in waves, which are very much so. You get a bit of a breather once you've killed a certain number of zombies, and then you figure out what you're going to do. You can buy weapons, you can get upgrades and stuff, you can craft stuff, but you also then buy your way into other areas of the map. And that's quite cool, because obviously it's up to you what you do with your points. So you might actually choose to just stay in the starting bit for a good few waves, save up enough points. There'll be a couple of weapons you can access, like on the walls and stuff. There's like it sort of shows like the outline of a weapon. You can go up to it and buy it. Or there might be something you want further in the map, so you might concentrate on just unlocking these gates to get to a certain point, and then there's certain things you want. So it's enjoyable building up your knowledge of the map and the routes you might choose to take through it. But then also, obviously, that becomes more complicated when you've got other people who might have other ideas about how they want to progress, and you talk through it, and it's like, right, which route are we taking? Which power-ups are we looking for? Stuff like that. Obviously, as you level up, you unlock more gear to start with, so that again, that can sort of then make you more efficient, because you're not spending points on weapons while you're in the level, because you can just start with decent gear that you like and stuff. But there's really silly power-ups. There's one where you just get a really powerful punch, and you can just punch the fuck out of zombies.
Nice.
There's ones that like, there's like sometimes like when you kill zombies, there's a random chance that they'll drop stuff. Sometimes it's just some bonus points or whatever to spend on stuff. Sometimes there'll be a nuke, which doesn't look like a nuke. You just kind of pick it up, and all the zombies just like go up in flames, and it just clears out any of the currently spawned zombies. What is cool is that it gets quite silly. There will occasionally be a wave where like the sky changes color and stuff, and then they will send like actual monsters after you. Which, by the way, any arachnophobes out there, there is an arachnophobia mode, because these fucking critters it sends after you are fucking horrible. Well, they're arguably worse when you turn the arachnophobia mode on, because all it does is it just takes their legs off. So there's still these kind of floating sort of grubs with these horrible teeth. It doesn't really help, I don't think.
Like it was. What was the Xbox? Is it Grounded? Is that the game where you're playing it in the garden?
Oh, yeah.
And like arachnophobia mode on that, it's just like they turn spiders into giant balls.
Yeah,
which like, was still disconcerting.
Yeah, and they're still really dangerous. So they're still kind of terrifying in their own way. But,
yeah.
So yeah, had a really good time playing zombies. The only thing is, like, the characters, so there's like 4 characters that you can choose. It's like, oh, these will have like enhanced like dialogue and story and stuff. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because all I've noticed is that they just have really annoying like quips and stuff when you kill zombies.
Hello, what?
Like those, like you shoot a zombie and it should be like,
quips or puns?
Enjoy your makeover or whatever, and you just like, all right, okay, like, oh, not your fucking lunch and stuff, and it's right, all right, sound, thanks for the inputs. So yeah, so we've had a really good time playing that. Like, as far as I'm concerned, they could have just released zombies mode, and I'd have been very happy.
I mean, have either of you hit the multiplayer at all?
Like, a little bit. I am surprisingly not total shit at it, which has been nice. I was waiting for like first couple of matches. I was like, I'm not going to post my results because I just know everyone's going to be like, yeah, it's bots, mate. Don't get too excited. It is kind of funny how, like, obviously plenty of things have changed, but also nothing has, because like one of the modes they're highlighting, which what's it called, like kill order or something, where basically one player on each team is the high value target, and you have to defend your own and kill the enemy one. Fine. No one pays attention to the objectives still. Like, it's everyone just fucking runs off and does whatever the fuck they want. And just like, right, sound, we're just going to lose then. Thanks, guys. Which, and I guess like opening weekend sort of enhances that, right? Because there'll be so many people, especially with it being on Game Pass. Like, people will just be trying it out and not really giving a shit necessarily. So maybe once you get to the high ranks, you start getting, like matchmaking with people who give a shit. I don't know, but it is quite funny to see that. It's just like, oh, right, this is the exact sort of shit you would see 10, 15 years ago. All right. The movement stuff is cool. I wasn't sure how much of this is new, but they boast about this new, Omni?
Was it Omni movement? Yeah.
Yeah. Which basically means you can sprint in like sideways and backwards, which feels weird, but whatever. And you can also, so you can slide and you can dive. They're like distinct things, which is new to me. Don't know if that's new to the series. But it's sort of interesting that like diving is for when you are just trying to get out of the way. So like I think diving sends you for a further distance, but obviously when you land like lying down, and then that can be annoying in terms of your options for shooting back. Whereas sliding is when you're like being aggressive. So if you're going into a situation, you want to reduce your profile whilst also shooting at other people. That's when the slides are useful. And yeah, it feels really good. Like really good fun. It's still like, but obviously part of me's still like Titanfall 2, man. Do you know what I mean? Like nothing's ever going to beat the movement from that. Obviously, it's unfair to expect that because you're not playing a soldier with a weird jetpack and stuff. But yeah.
I would like to try multiplayer, but I want to get a campaign done first. But I do worry what happens if I hear those old sounds and hear how it used
the leveling
to be.
up noises and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. They're still
And
really
just
good.
hearing like the sound of a headshot, just oh god, it bring me back. It's
The
like
sound design is still absolutely perfect. The sort of
Have you
when you hit people,
Yeah.
it's just
have you paid for the upgrade for the sound, Sean?
upgrade for the sound.
Yeah,
Oh no,
did
what's
you know
this?
about
I've heard about this,
Go
but
on.
Yeah, this was like where you can pay. I think it's like $20 or something to have better sound in the game.
What?
It's it's a
because
thing.
there's already
Why?
like 10 or 11 like sound profiles anyway.
Yeah.
Why
There's
don't
a whole
you?
bunch of different ones, which is quite cool. But I mean, I'm not going to pay for it because I think that's ridiculous. But I'm intrigued to see what the supposed difference is.
But yeah, apparently it's like a third party company that's
Right.
that's like selling it as like within the game. Like you could buy it from within the game of like, this is like an enhanced like sound experience, for the game.
Wow.
And you pay 20. I think it's $20, but it's $20 not just it's for like a subscription. So
Oh, yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
I fucking hate
so,
the future. It's bollocks. I just-
Yeah, in enhanced headphone mode, $20 tier. That's
okay. Well, I'm using the bullshit default sound. I think it's great. Shows what I know. So yeah.
Oh, but it creates a HRTF, a head related transfer function profile by literally scanning the shape of your ears
Okay.
to
Right,
approximate
that
how your
is-
ears will intake audio. So
Yeah,
now I'm
that's
tempted.
Sort of interesting. I'm definitely still not paying.
Here we
for
go.
it, but that's a legitimate
Claim
thing.
back.
If
Claim back. Tackle next. Go on, Sean.
If you watch, as I often do, because I find it relaxing, Mark Cerny's presentation about the PS5, and he talks about the HRTF stuff. It's actually really interesting. It's basically HRTF is like a representation of the way the shape of your head and your ears affects the way you hear things, and everyone has a unique HRTF. It's like as unique as your fingerprint, and it's why I think the PS5 it doesn't it. If you try and do surround sound on headphones, there's like a number of profiles you can choose from. They
Yeah,
kind of
it has that,
yeah. So they sort of narrowed it down to like 6 sort of archetypes, but even then there's potential to go further. And he talks about like, one day in the future it'd be really cool to be able to scan like every player's head and ears to give the match an actual customized profile. So if that's what they're doing, that is sort of interesting. But yeah, I ain't paying £20 for it.
Go on.
Nah, right.
Does anybody know like how long the campaign is? Is it like standard COD length, like a couple of hours, or what's the deal?
I've no
Do
idea.
you know what? It's not a couple of hours. I thought it was like 4 hours. Surely, like not. Are they 2 hours long?
Okay,
I think
5 or 6
I
hours.
thought they were sort
maybe.
of anywhere from 5 to 10, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I assume I was just a quick Google doesn't really throw anything up, but I'm gonna assume same time. Yeah, that's all I want. 5 hour lovely old campaign. Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fine.
Are you gonna race back and play this when you get back home then, James?
I will play it. Yeah, when I get back, that'll be it. Definitely be on my list.
Nice.
Cool. We should actually do like a zombie stream. I think that would be good fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm up for that. Yeah. How long? Feelball says in chat. How long does it be? Says 8 hours.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's a sizable increase if that's the
That
case.
is- yeah. Decent.
I'm out. Too long, baby. Fuck that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Matt, have you played anything else?
I've
this
been.
week?
I'm still going through Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Okay.
But you've
Even
also
though
played it.
James told you not to bother.
Well, I know. I know.
I mean, I finished it.
And how do you feel about it, James?
I mean, I finished this on the train to the Independent Podcast Awards, and I was quite disappointed, not just by the awards, but by the game as well. And it was mostly because, like, the final boss encounter in the game, which I'm not going to spoil, is like completely anticlimactic because of how they decide to put the confrontation together, and you're just like, this is awful, like what you've done here, because it's completely eroded everything that it kind of built up like throughout the game. I felt like the final boss encounter, and I felt really I felt really shortchanged by it, honestly, because that's the whole thing with the game as a whole. It feels like such a lesser experience than something like Link's Awakening. And the other thing about it is it gives you all of these tools to do all these interesting things with creating all these echoes and stuff. but then which is similar in a way to like the Tears of the Kingdom thing of like here you can like construct, you can build, you can put all these things together. But in Tears of the Kingdom, they gave you like tons of different environments within which you could experiment with that, and loads of different like shrines and stuff where you could try and figure things out. In this, there's so little content that there's so little reason to actually really experiment like with the echoes that it just feels like I'm not really sure what the point of this was. Like I mean, I ended up playing like with the game usually only, I think I used about 10, I think probably tops, like throughout the entire game. And obviously, yeah, you could probably be more creative than that, but it doesn't sort of encourage you to do that because it's like, what's the point? And it just feels half baked. Like the game felt half baked to me. It felt like they had this cool idea of like we have Zelda, her power is going to be creating these echoes and stuff, but there's not enough there to make it interesting. Like even, I mean, the overworld is so barren. There's hardly anything to do like across. I mean, I explored the entire map. There's a couple of like other sort of like dungeons which have repeated bosses in them as well that like exactly the same and also quite irritating. And I don't know, I was just disappointed by it, like really disappointed. It just I thought this is nowhere near like as good as any of the other like Switch like Zelda games that have been released, particularly Link's Awakening, which I thought was a really good. I mean, apart from the technical issues, it was a really good realization. But yeah,
I thought that was excellent. Yeah, to me, it kind of doesn't feel like a Zelda game. It doesn't have that level of quality or the magic that I always seem to feel and get and enjoy from these games. I'm fine. I mean, I'm playing it today with Elodie, and it's kind of fine. But if I just take a step back and don't view it through a lens of all the other Zelda games, it's like it's fine. But as a Zelda game, it's a huge disappointment. But as any game, hey, you're right. I'm not really I'm not experimenting with these echoes. I'm just saying, here's his echo for this one particular task. But I'm not like, oh, what would it be if? What could I do if I combine that? It's not that. It's just like, okay, this is how to get up here with this particular echo. But it's not experimenting really. I'm just picking it from a menu. So yeah, there's loads of promise, and but I'm still going to play it. I'm probably going to finish it, but I think it feels quite comforting. I don't know, but it's not pushing me in any way.
Like I was really enjoying it, as I said before. I've not really got any time on the Switch now because I'm now sharing it with Isaac. But yeah, I don't know. You've all sort of talked me out of playing more of it. But obviously part of me is like, well, maybe I'll disagree. Maybe I'll really like it.
You might do. It reviewed really well, didn't it?
Then I could put that time into another 2D Zelda because I mentioned the other week. It just occurred to me that I don't think I've ever finished a 2D Zelda game.
God, that's so good.
And there's so many good ones, right? And I could play any of those.
You could play A Link to the Past, which is amazing, and also not very long either. Like it's not like a 40-hour like.
Link to the Past is really interesting because I had it as a kid, and I remember thinking it was like the most vast like thing ever. Because when you're younger and you don't necessarily like when you have an open world game like that. Like you end up just sort of going the wrong way repeatedly and kind of re-exploring areas over and over again, thinking, oh, maybe something will be different this time instead of just going the right way. Like I I enjoyed it at the time, but part of me was just like I was a bit boring now. I ended up wandering off it. Playing it again as an adult, you're just like, oh no, this is actually really sharp and focused and not that long. And so I played a lot of it. I think when it got added to Nintendo Switch Online. So yeah, there's that. I could happily go back to that. Minish Cap. I've never played Link's Awakening, which I know is still.
Yep, I thought the new one was good. There isn't. Yeah, Links to the Past. Surely that's ready for a Switch version, no?
Or like a proper remake.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see one because it does feel like they're sort of like doing this sort of like the big 3D adventures, and then it's like then we can do another 2D one like this, and then maybe there'll be another remake, which would be cool with that, which would be kind of good. But it's a strange game though because as Matt said, it's like it's kind of it's not horrible to play or anything at all. It's nice to play. It's just that you just feel like this is nowhere near like what it could be, and and it's probably because of the the history of the series and everything that you just feel like this is a bit of a missed opportunity. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh well.
Yes.
Actually, again, sorry, Matt's dropped again. It's weird again the sharing it with Isaac thing because I know he's played a bit of it, and if I trade it in, and one day he's like, "Oh, I really want to play that Zelda game," again, I'll be a dickhead, won't I?
You're like, what Zelda game? Just gaslight him.
Yeah.
Oh, we never had that Zelda game. What are you talking about?
Yeah. You just watch a video of it. It's fine.
Why are you lying? You're making things up again.
Someone play a Zelda. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that game doesn't exist, and we've never owned it, and you're grounded.
That was a CDI game.
Yeah,
and we don't talk about those.
Well, because the thing is, because we don't really he doesn't really use YouTube because he tends to like. If you let him on YouTube, he just starts chain watching just proper brain rot shit. Suitable for kids, but just rubbish, right?
Yeah.
And he finds these videos where like people have modded like Mario games, like Mario Galaxy and stuff, with like different items and whatever. But then he's not done it for a while, but yeah, like he used to, like he'll come to me and be like, oh yeah, like when you get like the rainbow mushroom in Mario, I'm like, oh, that's not a thing. And he's like, yeah, it is. I've seen it, which he has, right? Like, okay. So I had to explain, it's like, no, these people have like modified the game to do other things. Yeah. Hey ho.
Just getting sucked into the algorithm.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you're not gonna bother at all, then, Sean, with this.
I still feel like I should. Like I found it really charming. I still whistle the fucking overworld music 'cause it's really good. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like you've all taught me. You know, it's because we're getting that time of the year. It's like, well, if this isn't a game of the year contender.
Well, yeah, I do worry about that. Yeah, like while I'm playing, I should go back to games I didn't finish, which I feel like are genuinely contenders.
Yeah.
This is going nowhere near any lists. I don't think it's not going to happen.
The next like month or two is going to be absolutely ludicrous because we've got so Dragon Age. It's apparently good.
Reviews today are good. Yeah. Unless you watch Skill Up, which we're not a fan.
Yeah, he's not a fan at all. James needs to play that Sonic and Shadow Generations because that's reviewed well.
Yeah, that's reviewed well.
He's going to do it. He's shaking his head, but I don't believe him.
James, why wouldn't you? It's reviewed well. It's a Sonic game.
Yeah, I know, but okay. The problem with this game is that I've heard that the Shadows stuff is supposed to be pretty good. Like, it's supposed to be like really very good.
Yeah.
But then the Sonic Generation stuff, I never liked Sonic Generations the first time round. I didn't think it was very good. And then apparently it's really aged badly as well. So I'm like, I don't really want to pay for that. You know,
I don't fully understand what this game is. I assumed it was a whole new thing, but it's not, right?
No, it's not entirely. There's like new content, but it's like not.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it's like Flight Sim is out soon, which I am interested in. I mean, Indiana Jones is like a week before our Game of the Year show.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to figure out the timing of that stuff.
I hope that review as well because I'm really interested in that.
Yeah.
I want it to be a banger, but
yeah,
Flight Sim, maybe. Dragon Age, I never played one, but I mean, if I'm going to play an RPG, I'm going to get Rebirth finished. I'm not going to be playing Dragon Age.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So you definitely will be, Sean?
Dragon Age, yeah. God, yeah.
Did you like the previous ones, James,
really,
as well?
2, I felt was a bit of a misstep, but I really enjoyed 1 and Inquisition. So yeah, really excited. I hope there's a lengthy recap in this one though, because it's been 10 years since Inquisition came out. Sorry, James, were you gonna?
No, I mean I've never played one. I've never played any of the Dragon Age games, so yeah. But
you're not a fantasy guy, though, are you?
Not really, no. It's if I could avoid it.
So yeah, I'm excited, and there's definitely a bunch of indie stuff I've already forgotten about. So yeah, it's going to be a weird couple of months, weird run up to.
Yeah, I've got to do. There's a lot of work I've got ahead of me, frankly. A lot of work.
See, that's what's annoying because, like, I mean, you know, I'm away and I wanted to play more Silent Hill 2 because that's. I mean, I was going to put it on my list, but I didn't because I haven't played enough of it because I'm really, really thoroughly enjoying it. I think it's fantastic, and it's. I was saying, like, you know, before the show, it's like it is like it's genuinely scary. Like there's bits in it, and I don't normally get that bothered by games, like by horror games, whatever, like this. But this one is thoroughly unpleasant in like the best way, like it possibly could be in terms of like atmosphere, and it's really compelling as well. Like it's just such a compelling world to explore. Much more so, I feel, than like any of the Resident Evil games. Honestly, like they're great games. They're really brilliant games. I really enjoy them. But this feels on another level of sort of ominous, uncomfortable sort of exploration, and it's just brilliant. It's almost like sort of
Have you played and finished the original?
Yes, but again, this was like in 2002
Right,
or whenever it is that it came out, so I don't remember anything about it really, and so that's why this has also been really cool to like explore. Because, and also the dialogue's been has been good. Like, and I've seen some video from the the original release, and it's like they really have done a very good job like bringing this up like more up to date. And it's just so uncomfortable to play. It's just it's so good. Like it's so good. And I can't believe this is a Bloober Team game that I'm just like this is really
Well, they
really
make
good.
good
But I
games
mean,
now apparently. So
yeah. So that's been it's been great. I can't wait to get back so I can actually play it properly because I've been trying to play it on Portal and for some reason I'm just not getting a good connection at all to my PS5. So I'm probably just gonna have to wait because it's just such a degraded experience playing it on that at the moment. That I think I'd rather play it on my TV. But yeah, it's very good.
Have you played anything else, James?
Well, the only other thing was Dark Souls 3, which I finished, and yeah, I think it was.
Well done.
I think it was possibly. Well, I can't even take full credit for it honestly because I was totally. I mean, I had a person from the chat joined again.
Oh, nice.
It's like Esther 24/7, who's
Yeah,
amazing.
because they wrote in the other week. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like brilliant, and yeah, he helped me through the final boss because it was one of those things where I was like, I can sit here and it will take me several hours probably to do this, and I just don't feel like I want.
I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, actually, I thought it was easy. But as final Souls bosses go, I didn't think Dark Souls 3 was too bad.
No, it's probably not, but I just couldn't. I was at the stage with the game where I was like, I just want to finish this now. I don't really want to sit here for ages,
weeks, right?
And that's the problem because see the thing with this is I never really felt this was as good. Obviously, it's not as good as the original Dark Souls. I didn't think it was as good as Dark Souls 2 either, honestly.
Really?
And I think, but then this may be because of the way that I played it, and it was in such a fragmented way over like weeks and weeks and months. Really, I kept on skipping weeks, and it never felt coherent to me, and that was probably why. But it also felt like a bit of a kind of like a greatest hits of the other games as well.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I don't know. I can see why they felt done with the series and that they are not going to do any others because it does feel played out by this point at the end of this. And I mean, I enjoyed it, but I just didn't feel like I bonded with it like I did with the other games. And but I was pleased to finish it. I mean, I think it was probably the shortest stream I've ever done. It was only about 25 minutes or something. And it was like, done. Okay, tick that off. Finished. Dark Souls 3 done. And I guess, I mean, the only Souls game next, I guess, would be Bloodborne because I never played that.
Oh, mate.
Or Sekiro.
Yeah.
Really
Or Sekiro, yeah. It's Bloodborne or Sekiro. Or Demon Souls is the other one because, that had that remake for PS5.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Which apparently was excellent. But, I've never got... but in terms of streaming, I mean, maybe I'll stream Bloodborne at some point, but I've got another streaming idea that is going to start next week instead.
Or do you want to announce it next week?
Yeah, next week I'll announce it. Yeah, but it's not going to be Bloodborne. But then I was even toying with the idea of doing 2 streams a week or something, like playing Bloodborne and this new idea, but I don't want to commit to that just yet. It's
gonna be funny when we compare like the amount of episodes it took me to finish Bloodborne versus you.
Why do that to yourself?
I was on part 74. I was like, no, wait, James is in 15.
Yeah. Cool. So no, I'm looking forward to it. It'd be good. But yeah, Dark Souls 3 was fine. But not as good as the others, I don't think. But there you go. But that's all I played really at the moment.
Dues. I'll read out some questions then. If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/Dear TCGS. Yuji Naka has done that. It says, with Sonic X Shadow Generations getting a 9 out of 10 from IGN and sitting pretty at an 80 Metacritic, is Dr. James Farley planning on picking up this clear GOTY contender? We've already covered this, but yeah.
We've already covered that? No, I'm not going to be doing that.
Not even when it's cheap?
No.
Okay.
I'm just not interested.
James, why are you lying to yourself?
You're going to get it midway through next year, and then you're going to be like, guys, I feel awful. I didn't put it in the Game of the Year list last year. I fucked it.
No, it's because, you see, I've kind of got a rule now with Sonic games, which is that I'm not buying remakes. I only buy new stuff that is good.
Right.
And this is
right. But this is reviewed well. I don't get it.
It's reviewed, but it hasn't reviewed well everywhere. That's also like a thing. Like there has been others that have been like 6 out of 10 and stuff like that.
But
so
on average, I think
Yeah, on average, it's fine.
nothing reviews well everywhere.
Yeah.
Even the new Dragon Age is a bit, like mostly all good, but Skill Up, not a fan at all.
No.
But most other people say it's really good. So, James, come on, James.
I've got too many other games to play that are definitely good.
Oh yeah, name one.
Silent Hill 2.
Apart from Silent Hill 2.
That other one.
James has got a different microphone because he's traveling, and there's just something very funny about you just tapping that mute button.
I know. Well, because I've got to, because we need to talk about something after the show, Sean.
Okay, cool.
It's only a tiny, very tiny thing.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah,
it's not. I can't do the bonus show anymore, is it?
No.
Okay,
It's nothing like that. No, it's
fine.
Just a slightly unfortunate incident earlier in the show.
Oh, okay.
Did you do a fart?
Hear that.
No, at 17 minutes 30. Yeah.
What timestamps?
What happened at 17 minutes 30?
I wrote down the timestamp so that I was aware. It's like...
Oh my god.
Jesus. All right. Next question comes from My Perfect Rissole. Hi, gents. Any games you would like the others to try out as we approach Game of the Year season? Matt and James, should Sean check out 1000 Times Resist? And where's the love for Tactical Breach Wizards? Cheers. Yeah, Tactical Breach Wizards. I played a bit of it. I need to get into it. It's just there's been like so much other stuff to play, like Call of Duty. Who'd ever, next time people have a go at me for not playing popular games, I am leaving indie stuff to one side so I can play fucking zombies.
Yeah.
I really, really love what I played. Just haven't played enough to sort of talk coherently about it yet. 1000 Times Resist.
I mean, I wanted to put more time into that. Did you finish that in the end, James?
I finished it, yeah. It's
It
was certainly very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, the game that I wish everyone would play, but they're not going to because it's like 70 hours long, is that Like a Dragon game that came out. Because
I do want to, but again, it's time.
It's just it kills me that every year, pretty much every year, I nominate one of those games, and I know it's going out in the first round because no one cares and nobody's played them, but it's fucking brilliant.
Well,
and
hang on. I mean, that's people do care. That's not the yes. None of us have ever played it, and it is a shame that they never make any progress. But I think it is valuable that you bring them up every year and like give them the shout that they deserve, right?
Yeah, but also, I mean, David's got a concerted campaign against like them getting anywhere in the Game of the Year show, so it's just annoying. But I can't not include it because it was fucking brilliant. It was so good, Infinite Wealth. I loved it. So
I'm really looking forward to that, the pirate one. I think that's going to be sick. Really, so although it's out like a week before Monster Hunter. So.
Oh, I'll tell you what though, I watched the Amazon Prime series.
Oh, did you?
Oh, that was really badly, didn't it?
Yeah, it's the first 3 episodes are out at the moment. I think the 4th one will be out by Wednesday actually, or is it maybe Friday? And it's one of those things where it's like, if it wasn't based on the games, it would be probably all right actually.
Okay,
it would be probably all right.
It would be probably all right.
But the problem is that with those characters that they put in there, none of them really are anything. They're not really anything like they are in the games at all, right. And it's jarring because of that. And it's like I understand that there's that like whole like we're imagining it how we want to and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the trouble is like a character like Kiryu is like he's supposed to be like a stoic like character, and he's not at all in this. And it's just like I don't recognize this person at all. It's like, and he wears like the same suit, and it doesn't fit him properly because it's too big, and it all just looks a bit. I don't know. It just doesn't work. Like I really would prefer that they just done something different. Like maybe use different characters. They could have set it in the same world, maybe, but like not using those characters from the games because even the voice, like the voice is such a like an integral part of that character, and it's like this like deep sort of like commanding voice, and the character has absolutely not got that. It's just a shame, but yeah.
Oh well. Shame.
Are you gonna keep watching it though?
I don't know. Actually, I mean, it's only 3 episodes in, and I mean, as you said, it's reviewed badly, but maybe it will get better. I don't know. It's possible that sometimes can happen, but yeah, it's a shame.
Oh well.
In terms of games, I want the rest of all to play. I mean, I think. I mean, I would need to get Rebirth finished, and I will get that finished for Game of the Year, but. That's kind of pointless in itself. I mean, I'll do it just because I want to play it, but I'm not doing it for Game of the Year because no one is gonna. I mean, maybe
think
I
of
wouldn't put it in.
Bollocking you'll get from the listeners if you don't finish it, and
Yeah, I'll definitely finish it, but I mean, that's not for Game of the Year because none of you lot will care about that either.
Okay.
But that hasn't stopped me in the past putting it in because I put these games in, like say Farpoint on PSVR 1, just because I want to highlight them. It's not really about whether I get the support or not.
Matt, maybe we need to have a conversation after the show, Matt. You know,
Maybe we should. Okay.
Oh,
what about?
fucking go.
Interesting. Let's get the deals in early, James.
I just play an honest game. Do you know what I mean? I don't.
Let's talk after
deal
this.
stuff.
yeah,
Pick good games.
Yeah, I never got a deal done in October. This is great.
it is a bit early. Yeah,
It's like pre-ordering all the deals. It's like I want to get my Christmas shopping done early. I want to get the deals done early. Get it all done. Don't have to worry about it. You know.
I think the big one for me is probably Ultros, just because not only did you guys not play it, but hardly fucking anyone else did either, and I think that is a real shame. Obviously, I understand the reasons why. It was, it's a Metroidvania, and it was off the back of Prince of Persia, so wasn't much appetite for another Metroidvania at that point, which I think is entirely fair enough. But I just every time I think about what I need to say about it on the Game of the Year show, I'm just I'm going to sound like such a wanker, because it dealt there's stuff in it about spirituality and reincarnation and karma and all this, and I think it's really fascinating. But you're all gonna laugh when I try and talk about it. It's gonna be really embarrassing.
cannot wait.
But yeah, it's a good game. Really good fucking game. It's the reason I own a turntable now, because I needed the soundtrack on fucking vinyl. It's good.
The other game I need to play before the Game of the Year show is that that Atlas game that came out that I said I wasn't going to play.
Yeah, Metaphor Refantasia.
Oh yeah, Refantasia. Yeah.
Which I now have a copy of thanks to somebody who sent me a
Serious
copy.
benefactor.
Yeah. And so,
Of course you do.
I would love. I need to try the demo again, because everyone says after 3 hours of bollocks, it does start you get into the loop and you get a sense of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like. I mean, look, time's ticking away. We're in November. I need to spend every hour working on things that are actually gonna, work towards the GOTY show. But
Yeah.
I would also, even the demo kind of charm me. Yeah.
Did it?
I would like to play it. Yeah, I thought it was really good. Again, I haven't never played a Persona game. I was like, this is all real new and exciting to me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going to play anything, it has to be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So I'll get that done first and then see what else I've got time for after that. I'll tell you what, another game I really want to get finished is Lorelei.
Oh, and the laser eyes. Yeah.
In Laser Eyes, yeah.
I just accepted that I bounced off that. I'm at peace with it. It's a shame, because I thought I was really going to like it, but
Yeah, because I thought that was excellent. Again, loved the style, loved, just everything that it does with colours and music and tone, atmosphere. And I stopped, but I wasn't stuck. I was just stopped at a time. But if I have to go back now, I'd probably take me 2 or 3 hours to actually work out where I was with all the puzzles. But did you play that, James? I think you'd like that.
no, I never
He hates
touched it.
puzzles.
I hate puzzle games.
Yeah, yeah, but it's kind of like that in like a Resident Evil style kind of PS1 style graphics
It's a lot
horror
of
game.
puzzles.
That's good. It's good. Yeah, well, Lorelei, I'd like to get that done. I'd like to other people play it as well.
There's also Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess.
Was that this year?
That was this year.
Bloody
and it's really
hell, what a
fucking
year.
good. James, think you'd like it. Well, you're the only other person who's into weeb shit like me, so it's
That's outrageous. It's accurate, but outrageous.
it's accurate, but don't tell anyone. Anyway, moving on. Maria Mendieta says, "Dear TCGS cognoscenti, apologies for writing earlier than usual, but there are rolling blackouts in my area, and I do not want to let a weekly question go to waste. I hope everything's all right." That sounds ominous. With your vast knowledge of USB singles and being experienced players of Trombone Champ, I have a music-related question for you this week. Which musical instrument do you associate with each one of your co-hosts' personality, and can you imagine them playing at the Proms 2025? Keep up the spectacular work. Sincerely, Maria.
Okay, Sean, it's one of those. Is it a sitar? Like a sit-down guitar?
Oh, yeah, sitar. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
sitar, yeah. Why not?
That.
I'd enjoy that.
I think it's
That feels very Sean.
I saw Sean more with like with a keytar actually.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Either way, James is definitely a brass man.
Yeah.
I would say.
I used to play the trumpet.
Did you?
a
Oh,
long
that's
time
right.
Oh
ago.
yeah, a trumpet. It feels
Yeah.
very
Yeah. Matt violin.
Oh really?
No,
No, I mean, what? Explain your working. Go on.
I don't know. I just think you'd suit it.
Okay,
Don't know.
I've never played a violin.
Well,
See, I do see Matt as more as like the percussion, like drum section,
Yeah.
like keeping the rhythm,
That's
that kind
true.
of thing
I
going.
can will be a
Yeah.
bit.
What's Dave?
What is Dave?
Guitar, isn't he?
Triangle.
Triangle.
Yeah.
He's the
So
Maracas.
Dave is fearless leader, Malvi,
Vibe administrator.
vibe administrator in
Is he the
chief.
noise boy? Does he just do the decks and the samples and stuff?
What? That's possible. Also, what was it Stomp, where it's like the where it's just like rubbish bin lids. Was that Stomp?
It was Stomp, yeah.
I think that.
attached to his feet and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's.
I could see him with the maracas.
Yeah.
Just at the back. Yeah.
I don't think they're weighty enough. I think something a bit more oomph. I think.
Yeah.
Steel drums.
Yeah.
Or I want him one man bands with like massive drums on the back, cymbals on the front.
You don't see that much anymore, do you? Like,
We
that's
don't,
what I
unfortunately.
remember from my childhood,
Nobody
like seeing all the
likes it,
time.
I think is the problem.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It was rubbish, but you used to see people doing it.
Yeah,
I think that's answered the question. I think we nailed that.
Yeah. Sorted. Alan AirPods Pro. As is the last question. He says, all right, lads, has Sean given up on the dodgy Lego streams? I was enjoying having them on in the background. I know he was complaining that the Dune Ornithopter was a pain to build and seemed to be tarring all of the knockoffs with the same brush. I've had half a dozen or so sets from AliExpress, and they've mostly been like for like compared to original sets. So it would be a shame if Sean is put off potentially saving a decent amount of money. Kiss, kiss. Alan AirPods, size 8 Dr. Martens, step 1 boxer briefs. Nice. Good taste. I mean, for the sake of balance, just to acknowledge that morally, buying your Lego sets from AliExpress is not necessarily the right thing to do. But yeah, I had a bad time. The bit of the Ornithopter build that I streamed, I wasn't enjoying it at all because it was quite a complex set, and when you add to that the anxiety of like, oh, things could be missing because this is a dodgy set off AliExpress, which, as it happens, I think there was like one thing missing, but it was easily replaced from like a bit of Isaac's Lego or whatever. So I was wrong when I was freaking out. I was like, oh, fucking hell. But you jump to that conclusion as soon as you can't find something. Like you just immediately assume it's just not there, and and you're cursing yourself for buying a dodgy one. I've still got the Guardians of the Galaxy ship unbuilt.
Get it done.
And I should stream it really because otherwise I can't claim it on expenses, can I?
Yeah, it's got to be part of the content.
Ben in the chat's pointing out I should do some Gunpla, or more specifically the Armored Core ones. That is a good shout because they have released a kit of Steel Haze, my favourite robot from Armored Core. So yeah, fair dues. I think it's like 35 quid as well, which to me seems cheap. I don't know what the going rate for Gunpla is these days.
I don't know, but I hope someone doesn't know. That looks like the kind of thing where it's, oh yeah, that'd be cheap. It's actually like 100 quid for a set or something. Exactly. Ridiculous.
So yeah, it's possible. I should get back on that stuff really, because it up until the Ornithopter one, it was good for the old brain. I'm quite bad at, I'm drawn to the obvious sources of dopamine, which Lego is not
drugs.
one of. Drugs, wanking, etc.
Wow. I'd rather you did Lego on stream.
Yeah, on stream, it's the
out of
the Lego,
two. I think
really. Yeah, streaming's good for getting you in the habit of things you know you want to do, but you sort of struggle to actually sit down and do it.
That's why I should do my taxes on stream.
Yes, that'd be good. Yeah, I need to do that as well. Don't want to. Putting it off. Even though I really need to know how much money I need to have saved for it. Just not happening.
Anyway, Yeah, well, I think that's it for questions, is it?
That is it for questions. Who wants to do this? Yeah, Mac, do you want to do them, or do we want to make James do it?
I think I'll do it, yeah.
Okay.
Unless you want to do it, James. Unless you want to do it, James.
No, I'm completely fine, Matt. I mean,
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah, we stream on Twitch. Whether it's streaming games or streaming today podcast, we're on there. So search for TCGS Co on the Twitch app or /TCGS Co on the website to find what we're doing. You can follow us. You can get a notification when we go live. If you miss the streams live, you can actually go to YouTube, search TCGS, and you'll see the finale for James's Dark Souls stream that I put live tonight, and all the other streams as well as the podcast. If you've got Amazon Prime, a Twitch account, connect your accounts, and you get something called Twitch Prime Gaming, and you get 1 free subscription to give to any channel of your choosing. We really appreciate everyone who's done that tonight, and those who do it during our streams or during the week. So please go over to our channel, give us your free sub. We're on Patreon, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, patreon.com/TCGS, to get our exclusive monthly bonus podcast and every one this week. Our talks overs, video shows, or gameplay sessions, whatever we're doing, it's all over there on Patreon. The website is tcgs.co. For links to our amazing Discord community, store, podcast, socials, it's all on there.
Sick. We'll be back next week with more video gaming chit chat. Dave will presumably be with us. Assuming his broadband gets installed, you'll get to see his new house. Maybe give us a
do you reckon
tour.
Do you reckon this podcast was compact enough for the Independent Podcast Awards? Or
I mean, it should be the one that we submit for next time.
We need to remember we talked about it. We need more sound effects, and we need to edit it down to like 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be fine. We'll be assured.
Fine. Well, even though we've been here for about 2 hours, this show is going to go out on Wednesday morning as a 35-minute highlights reel. That's it.
It's actually only like 1 minute 40, so we're done all right.
1 minute 40? Fuck,
Sorry,
it hasn't been a short
1 minute
show.
and 40 seconds. I know it seems like it took longer, but that's just because it was, dull.
Well.
Thanks for letting us be natural. See you next week. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.